And just to go back to what I was saying earlier, I'll occasionally find things to talk about. I'll loop back always eventually to something. And it's what I said about relationships and letting things define you and how you go forward and, dealing with things. And is that, the premise that I'm trying to make is that you can't let certain things that happen to you define you. I'm Trevor Hassel, and things that happened to me 6 months ago. Those things happened, they changed me, they made me a better person. But I'll never point a finger and say, those things are me. I am them. I wouldn't be anything without them. No, that's not true. Granted, they were the catalyst for me changing and moving forward. But once they happened, once they were done and over, I could definitely point back and say, there was a Trevor before these events. There was a Trevor after those events. They were just a split second of life that caused a reaction and a change. But they are not the Trevor that came after. They were just the Trevor at the time they happened. And that applies to anything in life. Like, if you're done wrong in a relationship, if you had someone die, you had things taken, you did something wrong, like just anything, like they happened. They hurt other people, but like they don't define you. That was it. That was the event. It's done. Once it hit the end, it was no longer you. You can always point back and say, man, I've changed a lot since that day. But you're not that day. You're not the person that was there that day. And I try to explain that to people, but they always want to go back and say, well, this happened because of this and that, and I'm a person now because of it. Well, here's the thing: you'll never move past what happened. You'll never move past what happened to you if you don't take a step back and say, well, that was me X amount of time ago. Me now, I can look back and say, that person was a fragment of what I am now. That was just a split second. That was just a split second in time. And it was just a catalyst. It was just an event that caused what I am now. But it's not me. I've moved past it. It's no longer me. It's just another event in life. People still try to argue back with me. Here's the thing. When something good happens, when something great happens to you, do we always go, oh, well, I'm the way I am now because of this? No, we don't. We'll go back and say, I wouldn't be here today if that hadn't have happened, but we'll never say, like, oh, that's me. Someone helped you through school. You're not like, oh, that right there happening at the tutor's table is me now. It's part of me. No. You succeeded at that table, and you left it there, and you're a different person. It's no different from when something negative happened. There shouldn't be a difference. Like, it happened, but don't let it be you. It's not you. I've been through so much change. My 8th grade year was overweight, couldn't talk to girls at all. Had a lot of anger, anxiety, didn't have a lot of friends. I just had no outlook on life either. I go to freshman year, I switch, I decide to start playing trombone. That doesn't fix much, but that makes it so my outlook on life starts, to look more clear, what I want to do in the future. I really like trombone that year. Then we go to sophomore year. I balloon up a lot of weight. I'm even bigger than I was in 8th grade. And there's a lot of sadness. I start to try to talk to girls. And it's like, oh, God. Ooh, it makes me cringe thinking about just, talking to these girls and how it's just not very intelligently I went about it. And, I went through a lot of hardships that first half of my sophomore year. People were telling me, you'll never be good at trombone. You're fat, you're overweight. You don't have a lot of friends. Well, fast forward to junior year. I'm one of the best bass trombonists in the state. I've lost 70, 80 pounds. I don't really have a full relationship yet, but, I start to have more meaningful things with girls. Still doesn't, go well usually, but it's a lot better. And, junior, that's when my anger also exploded. I just started yelling at people. I was, when I was a section leader, I would just get angry and explode, and my own section didn't like me. Then you go to senior year. Weight doesn't change. The anger, though, I stopped taking this medication, and it's gone. It wasn't really the medication, but it was, that might have something to do with it. The anger's gone, and colleges really start looking at me. They say, this kid is some hot shit on bass trombone. So, I not only, that happened, then you go towards the second half of senior year. Finally able to talk to girls. I go through a few meaningless, things, but, none of those are really my fault. I mix myself up with some bad girls. Then I meet Caitlin, who I dated for 6 months, and that was my first meaningful relationship. That's a whole other story for a different day, but, that's when I really learned just, I wasn't angry. I wasn't anxious. I wanted to help people. From a young age, I was angry. I don't know what I was angry at, though, and I realized, like, I just wanted someone to call mine, someone to help. And I did for 6 months, and I had its highs and lows, but I keep liking to think that it was having to do with the love, and we got very close and physical, but it wasn't that. It was I was able to help someone. I was able to change someone's life, and that really turned my life around. When it ended, there was a void. Of course, I had, was left because I had a girl, and then they left me, but I didn't have someone to help. I couldn't just give this unreasonable amount of love to and just happiness. And, I haven't really filled it since then. I've tried, but I just failed. I missed some steps along the way of all these, 4 or 5 years, but, coming now, Kennesaw, 6 months in, I haven't had an anger meltdown in 6 months. I haven't had just immense amount of anxiety, just fearing for something in 6 months. I haven't ballooned up from the freshman 15. I'm doing great, playing. I'm still working with Brian on getting towards 100%, but I'm doing well. Like, things are starting to turn around and look better. And to think I can look all the way back at 8th grade me, wow. That's, and just to think how I'm different. And just how blessed I am that I'm such a great person because of all the hardships I went through. Because I didn't give up. I didn't let anyone, let them stick a finger in my face and say I'm no good. When they did that, I pushed back. And I told them no. That's not the way it is. And not only that, I proved it. I went through the necessary actions to take. Hell, I'm going on a huge tangent here. I'm not even sure how I got here, but I guess the lesson at this point in time is that, don't let what happened define you. I had a lot of crap happen to me in those 4 or 5 years that I could have said, that's me. Oh, this girl is dumping me. Oh, that's me. Like, woe is me. Like, I am sad because of that. Oh, someone said I'm not good at bass trombone. I'll never be good. Well, that's me. They said it. Everyone believes it. So I'm content. That's just what's expected of me. That's me. Could let people say I'm fat and then I say to myself and them, that's me. I'm fat. I won't let you call me that. And then, go on life saying that's me. That event of people them calling me is going to define me. There's plenty of other things people called me. But there's one thing they don't call me. Actually, a few things that call me today. None of those things. None of those things matter. No one hears a peep out of them. No one hears a peep out of any of the things that happened back then. Only I remember what happened. And I can say, those events, those times, people look down upon me. It's just a snapshot in time. It's just one fragment, one little piece that helped me be the person I am today. And I really hope this recording helps for anyone listening, because we go through so much pain. We have so many times in our life that we just want to give up. We want to distance ourselves. We just want to say, well, this is the way that things are. No. I hope one thing anyone listening can take from today is that you can't. You can't let them say this is the way it is, because it will be the way it is. There's no way around it. You're accepting defeat. And that, I guess I can't fully explain just how you can't do that. I'm smiling right now because the more I talk about this, all the things that have happened, all the things that have made me sad, they don't mean anything. I mean, they don't. Because I'm able to sit here right now and just think, little 8th grade me, if he would have seen me now, wow, he probably wouldn't recognize me. He would probably think I'm some just, douchebag college student at Kennesaw. Had no idea it was himself. He had no idea. And I hope, people going forward, all of you, anyone listening, do that, and your life will just start getting better. I mean, it'll be slow at first, things that have already happened and you didn't have that mindset, they're going to be sticking with you. Like, it's not like you can just, turn off this video and things are better. Like, you just have a different outlook on life and things are all peachy, but, it'll take time. It'll be slow at first. Like, the more bad things happen to you, you start to learn, that's not me. That's just what happened to me. That's not a part of me. But once you get past 5, 10, 15, 20 times this happens, it gets exponential. You're able to start changing and becoming a better person at a rate that you have no idea that was even possible before. And, I guess it's slightly a little different than what I've been talking about. I guess that's why I've been trying hard to get back into the game, get a girlfriend, have that part of my life resolved, because everything else is clicking. Like, there's not much I can really get my hands on and really get going. I mean, I can, practice more, but I mean, that's minimal. I mean, that's just me not being lazy and getting off the couch. But I've always loved to help people. I just knowing that the person I've talked to is happier, that they can go on their merry way and just be even 1% better than they were when I talked to them, that I can't describe it. Just the feeling, the happiness I have. And I guess that's why I want to have a girlfriend again. It's that I want to share that with someone every day. I always had a saying for my last relationship. I didn't always follow it, but, I always like to say it. Is that if you're not making your significant other's life better every time you see him, every time you're with them, you're wasting their time. That's why they're called your significant other, your better half. They're called your better half because you made them better. You made them better than yourself. Here's the kicker. If they are doing the same, it becomes I'm at a loss of words. It becomes this agreement, this what's the word? Collection of feelings that is undescribable. You're just a complete ecstasy every time you see them. You just have nothing but happiness. You get two people that want nothing but the better out of the other person they're with. That's, I mean, it's almost magical. It's almost too good to be true. And I guess that's why I want to get back into it, because that's such an easy way for me to get my hands on someone and just work at it and make them better. You know, even if it's like studying habits. Oh, they're not good at math. Well, I'll be completely content sitting down with them and and working it with them. Finding which strategies are good and not good, and helping them grind out what is making them good, what's going to make them better, and what's not. And then, if a month passes and they're starting to get better grades, then hell, I've done my job, and I can be happy knowing that the person I love is better. They're better off. They're happier. They're doing better in class. That's just that's something little like that can go miles. And not just that, just as a guy, a nice guy like me. It's kind of a lame term to use, but there's not many other ways for me to put it. A lot of times I'll meet a girl and they'll be beautiful, and they won't know it. They'll always be doubting themselves, saying I'm not beautiful. I don't look good. I'm this. I'm that. I'm blah, 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 blah. Well, nothing makes me happier more than to constantly remind them of how beautiful they are. My last relationship, I did that a lot. She didn't think she was good looking at all, and I guess what finally got into her head is that, of course I was like, no. I would always be like, no, you're beautiful. Don't say that. And to her, that's how it sounded. Just meaningless, comebacks of just, bullshit. And after a while, she started to realize that, oh, this guy's serious. Like, he's actually upset at the fact that I believe something like that. The absurdity of believing I'm anything less but beautiful. And, I always try to tell these girls, I haven't dated really a lot of people, just a handful. It's just like, this isn't what I think. This isn't like my opinion. It's not through my eyes. I genuinely believe you're a beautiful girl. And a lot of girls are, and they don't realize that. It's absurd. And that's always one thing I like to do in relationships is, constantly remind them of something like that. Not because it's what I think or what I think they should think. It's that it's the truth. Like, you are beautiful. And not in your own way. You're just beautiful. And that's how, that's another thing. I might as well just keep going on about this in just many different ways. And another thing is that when they're crying, she'd be crying, whoever it is, I want to wipe those tears away, not because, she's upset or something bad happened and we gotta get better and blah, blah, blah. It's because it upsets me. When you like someone and love someone enough, when you see them cry, it just sucks the soul out of you. Like it's like, what the hell happened? Why are they upset? It makes me upset. And always the first few things I like to do is to think like, what am I gonna do? What happened? What happened between point A and point B that this happened? And how am I gonna fix it? How am I gonna make it better? How am I gonna make it so that they're not upset? That's the general gist of what I do. On a relationship, I don't like it. It's just this nurturing soul that comes out of me that's just overbearing. Sometimes I wish I don't have it because, sometimes people need their space. That's just one thing. That's not just one thing. I can see. I just say things during this that don't really make sense. So just bear with me. Just a lot of reasons like that make me want to get back into it. Just share that with someone. Girls, they're walking around here. I hear them all the time, talking to their girlfriend. This guy's bad. And, oh, he did this to me, but I still love him. Just crap like that. For any girls that are listening, there is a good guy out there for you. There will always be a good guy out there for you. And they are everywhere. They are not the guy sitting in the back of the classroom, you know, just by himself and not talking a lot. And then like, oh, you get lucky and you talk to him, you find out he's a great guy. No, they're everywhere. You got to find out which. You just got to get the you have to obtain the ability to locate them. They're everywhere. And these guys, they'll do anything for you. I mean anything. I know I would. And not a lot of girls know that. And by the time they know that, they're too old. They've gotten older in life, and that window, it's gone. You got to start now. You got to start talking to people. Talk to some good guys, How do you identify it? Start bringing them around your guy friends. Really get a good sense of who they are. And, they're everywhere. They really are. And you never know it. And I can't reiterate this enough, but they'll do anything for you. I can guarantee that. I know I would. Shit. The next time I'm in a relationship, whoever it is they won't even know what hit them. They won't. They'll be showered with enough love and kindness for the next 10,000 years. They'll be done with dating after that because they've had their fill in life. Because that's just me. That's not how I was raised. That's just how I am. And there are plenty of guys like that. Plenty. They're everywhere. I mean, like I said 20 seconds ago, I can't reiterate it enough. And it sickens me that a lot of girls don't know about it. And the bad guys, the guys that will take advantage of them, that'll do things that are just bad. They'll go to these girls with the cloak of a nice guy. Then when it's too late, they'll take it off and expose the real them. The bad guys they are. It makes me suffer. It discourages me. Because I can talk. I mean, I read my text, so I was like, I can go and talk to these girls, but a lot of times they'll turn me down because they're afraid of getting hurt. That's because some other guy out there did them wrong. This girl had a chance to be with a good guy. I mean, it doesn't have to be me, but in this case, it is me. But they can't. They choose not to, because someone else took advantage of them. Someone else did something. I suffer from it because it happens to me all the time. And the first thing that comes to mind is that, when they turn me down, I just think, I'm not the one really at a disadvantage. I'm not the one suffering. They are. The fact that they are turning me down in the first place is a sign that they need a guy like me and like so many of them out there. That's where the disadvantage is. That's where it's bad. If those guys weren't out there, I would have no problem. No problem at all. But because they exist, because those bad guys exist out there, the good guy will actually never win. I mean, that's just the way it is. Now, well, I wouldn't say that. See, I'm backtracking. I wouldn't necessarily say that. But a lot of times a good guy won't win. They won't finish first. And it's a shame, really. I've been on a lot of tangents. I thank you for listening. This is based off of a previous recording. Maybe it'll be released. I don't know. But thank you for listening, and I really hope this has helped.